I'm going to talk to you today about something I am absolutely passionate about. I'm going to talk to you about personal development, what it is, why you need it, and then how to make it a habit so you do it every day. So, I'll ask the question to you. Who can tell me what personal development is? Anyone got any ideas? What do I mean by personal development? Go on then, Tanya.
Improving yourself. It might be improving in your business, your ability to do different things. It might be improving in yourself. Any form of improvement.
Brilliant. So basically it is continual learning so you get the best out of yourself, so you can be the best you can be. Now there's lots of things that are considered personal development, and as Tanya said, it could be business related, it could be personal related. But one of the first things they teach you in personal development is setting of goals. Now it doesn't mean a goal that is, I want more money, because most people in this room will probably say they want more money. They're talking about a bit more specific goals, meaningful goals. And the idea is you write them down. People, if it's written down, you've got a much better chance of achieving that goal. Now, when I first decided, or somebody said you ought to set goals, I put down on my goal list, I want a new car. I'd got a 9-year-old car and I wanted a new car, and I thought, I don't know how I'm going to get it, but I wrote it down on my goals. Within 2 weeks, I wrote my car off. So I achieved my goal. It wasn't, I had to get a new one. Yeah, it is a bit, it happened. It wasn't quite what I planned, but that was achieved. So just think about what you're setting your goals as. Now, why do you write it down? Well, the thing is, in the back of your brain, there's a little organ. It's called the RAS, and that filters out everything you hear. Now, if you're sitting in this room now and you're thinking, well, what information am I getting? You suddenly start realising you can hear people outside, you can probably hear the person next to you breathing. There's all sorts of sounds, there's all sorts of noise, lights and everything. And if you listen to all of it, you're going to meltdown because you can't listen to all of it. So the idea with goal setting is you program your brain to help you focus on things. Now, if you're when you got here at networking today, lots of noise. If somebody walked in and said your name, there's a good chance you would have heard it because it's related to you. So you pick up on your name. So if you set a goal, it helps you pick up on certain signals. So to emphasise this a bit more, I'm going to do a little exercise with you. What I want you to do, I want you to think about the word yellow. And then I just want you to look around the room. Just see what you can observe in this room. So I'll give you a couple of seconds just to have a look around, see what you can think. Right, now I want you to shut your eyes. And I want you to think of all the things in this room that you saw that were yellow. Hopefully you can see a few things. If I said to you blue, now how many things can you see? Open your eyes and think, well, actually there's lots of blue things in the room, but you weren't thinking of blue, you were thinking of yellow. So it just helps you program what you're thinking about. And it's the same with goals. You hear opportunities that you wouldn't have heard about. You've got a goal, you're scrolling through Facebook, and something related to your goal suddenly pops up. You see it because you have programmed your brain to look out for it. So setting goals, written goals, is a very useful thing to do. Also, if you don't have a goal in life, how do you know where you're going? Where do you want to be in 5 years? If you don't set any goals, the chances are you'll be in exactly the same place in 5 years as you are now. So it's important to think about where you're going, both on a business, quite a lot of us probably set business goals, but what about personal goals? And a lot of people also say, particularly applies to sort of women who've got families, am I being selfish, spending time on myself, developing me? Well, let me put it like this. If you develop yourself, and for example, you get to learn a bit about patience, and you are a more patient person, so you scream at your kids less, who's going to benefit? You and the kids. So improving yourself will also help to improve everybody else around you. So it is not selfish. The best thing I can do to help somebody else is improve me first. And also, if you spend time on yourself, hopefully you get less stressed. And when you're less stressed, again, you'll be a better person to all those people around you. So setting goals is very important. And also it helps to give you direction. If you get into a car, generally you know where you're going, or at least where you want to go, where you want to arrive. You may set a sat-nav and you've got an idea of your destination. So the question I'm asking you is, who knows where they want to be in 5 years' time? Both business-wise, and personally, I know there's a few people got engaged, so hopefully in the next 5 years there's a wedding coming up. For some strange reason, women are brilliant at goal setting and planning when it comes to weddings. They've got that bit said, but somebody said to me, but do they spend as much time planning the marriage afterwards? Probably not. But if you want to know about planning, talk to a bride. They're brilliant at it. So the idea is it's very important to do this, but how do you find time in your day to do any personal development? So about 2 years ago, I was given a book called The Miracle Morning. And it made such a difference because it tells you how to fit in personal development. And the first thing it says is your morning starts the night before. You think about what you're going to do. If you've got a meeting tomorrow and you go to bed thinking, God, it's going to be an awful meeting, I'm going to be bored, I'm not going to get anything out of it, what's going to happen at that meeting? It's going to be boring because you've told yourself it's going to be boring and your brain likes to prove you right. So if you think it's boring, it will be. So when you go to bed at night, think about what's going to happen the following day, but think about it in a positive light. Think about what could go right. See yourself maybe going into that meeting and achieving what you want it to be, because it makes so much of a difference what you think about comes about. If you came into networking today and you feel nervous, the chances are you give off a vibe and other people pick up on it. So come through that door and feel positive. So your miracle morning starts the night before. And also how much sleep. They may say you want 7 hours, but actually you could probably get by on 6 if you tell yourself that 6 hours is enough sleep. If you go to bed, you look at your watch and think, God, I've got to be up in 6 hours, I'm going to be tired. Guess what? You're going to get up and you're going to be tired. So the following day starts when you go to bed. And then what the miracle morning says is set your clock an hour before you'd normally get up. So set yourself the watch. And then when the alarm goes off, don't turn it off. Don't snooze, because it won't do you any good. When that alarm goes off, go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and get out of bed. For a lot of people, the getting out of the bed's the hardest bit of the day. So get straight out. And then the miracle morning talks about a thing called savers, life savers. And I'll tell you what it means. S is for silence. So get up, splash some water on your face. Do not go anywhere near your mobile phone, the computer, or any of that. Leave it. The world will not end if you don't check in on Facebook. And so it's really important, somebody will come and tell you. So silence. So that means some form of meditation. So find yourself a quiet space. And say if you've got up early, it's probably before the kids. And think about some meditation. If you've never done it before, there are lots of apps out there to help you. But it starts off nice and relaxed. It's the best way to start the day. If you are relaxed, you've got a much better chance of at least leaving the house still in a good state. So think about relaxing. Think about meditation. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you feel comfortable. If you're not sure, do it for a minute. The next thing is A. And A stands for affirmations. Affirmations are the things you tell yourself. Maybe first thing in the morning, tell yourself all day. A lot of people say to themselves, I'm stupid, I can't network, I can't remember names. And guess what? You're never going to do it. You have to have positive affirmations. You know, I'm brilliant, I'm intelligent, I'm calm, I'm patient. Whatever it is you need to think about, you need to write down some statements and in the morning, tell yourself what you are good at. Nobody else will love you like you love yourself. So this is a bit of kind of self-love. Tell yourself what you're good at or what you want to be good at. Now, some people say you can stand in front of the mirror and do it. I personally don't, because I don't like looking at myself in the mirror. But the idea is you say, one of my things, I've been struggling with blogs. So one of the things I say to myself every day is, I am creative and I enjoy writing engaging content. So I tell myself that every day. So when I come to write a blog, I've got that mindset that actually I can do this. And also it helps if you keep telling you these messages all through the day, because we all talk to ourselves all day. So think about whether you're talking to yourself nicely, positively, or are you saying, I can't, I won't, I shouldn't, I can't. Because that's not helping any of you. So think about what you say to yourself. So that's the A. V stands for visualization. So visualization is having a clear idea of what you're going to achieve. For example, I'm coming here to do a 4sight. So before I come, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to visualize what I'm saying, what's going to happen in the room, and I'm going to visualize it going really well. I'm going to visualize everyone being really happy about it. So again, it's setting my mindset. It helps me set myself up to succeed. So many people set themselves up to fail. So visualization, think about what you want to achieve. We can all do visualization if you're going on holiday. We can all visualize what that's going to look like. But visualize all the difficult things. You're going into a meeting. What are you going to say? How are you going to feel? So if you go into that meeting thinking, I'm going to get that contract, I'm going to get that customer, that client, you're going to come across positive, and there's a good chance that it'll go the way you want it to. So visualization is very important. Now the next one, E, stands for exercise. Some of you might not like that one. But the idea is they say these don't have to be done in that order, it's just they spell savers, that's why it's done in that order. But some form of exercise in the morning. Okay, it doesn't have to be a 5-mile jog. It could be just getting up and doing a few stretches. But when you exercise, it makes you feel good. It gets the heart going. It makes you feel good. And also, if you don't like exercise, by 8 o'clock in the morning, you think, wow, I've done it. I can tick that off my to-do list. I've done it. Exercise could be taking the dog for a walk. It doesn't have to be going to the gym. The other thing, if you're not so good at doing exercise, get out of bed, have your trainers in front of your bed, so the first thing you see is your training gear and your trainers, and get up and go out the door before you've had a chance to talk yourself out of it. Because how many people are good at talking themselves out of exercise? I know I am. I do an unusual form of exercise. About a year ago, I bumped into a guy at networking called the Hoop Man. And he taught me how to hoop. So every day for the last year, I've done 10 minutes of hooping as my exercise. It's a bit different, but it's fun. And it does the job. It gets my heart rate going and it makes me feel good. So what could you do for 5 or 10 minutes if you haven't got a dog? Maybe some exercise. Maybe run up and down the stairs 3 times. Doesn't have to be a lot, but it gets you feeling good. And also it means you're calm when the kids get up, partners get up, you leave the house and you get in the car and everyone's getting in your way and you're stuck in traffic jam. So at least you've started the day calm. So if you start the day with the right frame of mind, you've got a better chance of getting through with it and still be calm by the time you get to the end of it. Now, R is reading. Quite important. When I say reading, I don't mean the newspaper, I don't mean your social media feed, and I don't mean 50 Shades or anything like that. I mean some form of personal development book or business book or business-related article, business-related journal, anything that will help you improve. And they say if you read 10 pages of a good book a day, it's amazing how much you can read in a year. Because most people say, I haven't got time to read. And when they do, they sit down for an hour, read for an hour, and then they don't pick up the book again for 3 months. If you read every day for 10 minutes a day, it's amazing what you can pick up. Would you agree, Adam? Adam borrowed one of my books.
Yeah.
What was the title?
Stop whining and
Yeah, I think, shut up, stop whining and get a life. So basically, find yourself, there's lots of books around, people will lend you books, but there's so much out there. And again, it's setting you up for the right frame of mind in the day. And take it as your time. Spoil yourself in the mornings. Enjoy that peace and quiet. And as I say, there is lots of good books around and it's amazing what you can learn. And the last one, well, it stands for scribe, but basically get yourself a journal and write in your journal. Now, there's a number of ways you can do that. You can write a gratitude journal. In other words, look back on the day before. What am I grateful for? Once you start thinking about what you're grateful for, it's amazing when you think what you have got. Particularly if you compare yourself with some other countries, you can be grateful for so many things. Maybe look back on the day before and say, what went well? Try not to use it as a moan journal. We can all do that, but that's not the most productive thing. You know, maybe you need to get something off your chest, so write it down in your journal rather than posting it all over social media. Not everyone wants to listen to you moaning all over social media every day. So maybe it's a way of doing that. And also, it's very interesting when you read it back. You can read back on the journey you've been on, and it's really good. So basically, the miracle morning it's called Savers to help you remember it. You can do them in any order. And if you're struggling, just do it each one for a couple of minutes at a time. It doesn't have to be an hour. But my challenge to you then is who's going to set their alarm for half an hour earlier than normal tomorrow? And think about spending some time on you. Before the family get up, before your partners get up, before you have to go out the house, spend some time on you. You will be amazed at how much difference it makes to your life. So have a think about it. So that's Denise Peasgood talking about my miracle morning.
Denise, and very enlightening. Has anyone got any quick questions?
I just want to say that book by Larry Winget.
Yeah.
I remember his name, not the title of the book, but he's very inspirational. It's a very good book, thank you.
But there's lots of books. There's lots of people you talk to who've got favourite books.
What's your favourite?
Well, the Miracle Morning is the one that made the biggest difference. I like a book called The Slight Edge, which talks about making little changes every day to move you in the right direction. It says, if I go over there and have a plate of chips tonight, I will not get a heart attack. If I have a plate of chips 3 times a day for the next 6 months, it might start to have an effect. So it's the little things that you do every day that's you're either moving forward or you're moving backwards in life. You can't just stand still. You've got to do one or the other. So that's probably one of the books I enjoyed after the Miracle Morning.